Hello guys, welcome to my page. Here we had started the chapter number 7, which is lenses for the science part 1 class 10. So already we had started that series of lectures. This is our second lecture. This is going to be second lecture. In the first lecture, what we had considered? We had considered how lenses are formed. Then there are different types of lenses: convex, then concave, biconvex, biconcave, plano-convex, plano-concave. So those are the types, and regarding that we had considered some terms which we are using to describe the lenses, like principal focus, center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, then focal length, etc. So those terms already we had considered in the previous lecture, and here in this lecture we are going to consider how images are going to be obtained by the convex lens, and in the next lecture we are going to see about the concave lens. So today we are going to see about the convex lens only. Now here, if you consider the images which are formed by the convex lens, so for that purpose, first of all we have to follow the three rules, basic rules, while drawing the ray diagram in order to obtain the image by convex lens. So we have to follow the rules. How many rules? Three rules while drawing the ray diagram for the images which are obtained by the convex lenses. Now I am going to consider the first rule. So for that purpose, here I am drawing the convex lens. So you can draw the convex lens. Before moving further, I am going to tell you the basic rule of ray diagrams in case of optical instruments. That is sign convention. You can say it as a sign convention or basic rule to draw any diagram, ray diagram. The incident rays are always going to be travel from left to right. They should be always shown from left to the right. It doesn't matter where you are keeping the lens. Where you are keeping the lens here exactly at right corner, or you are keeping it at center, no problem. Whatever be the position of lens, you have to consider incident rays which are traveling from left to the right. That is our basic rule. So suppose this convex lens is having principal axis. Principal axis means the line which is passing through both the centers of curvature of the two surfaces C1 and C2. Okay. Then suppose this convex lens having two focal points. First one is f1, second one is f2. These are the two principal focuses or two focal points of the given biconvex lens. So by observing the shape, you can easily tell that this one is of the type of biconvex lens. Okay. Now its optical center is capital O. Optical center. That means if some light rays are passing through this optical center, they will go undeviated. That means their direction will not change. So that definition you have to remember for optical center. Now I will consider one incident ray which is incident on the convex lens. And here I am going to compare this incident ray with our principal axis. So principal axis is actually drawn horizontally. In other words, you can say from left to right. And incident ray is also drawn from left to right. That means it is also shown from left to right horizontally. That means if we compare the directions of principal axis and incident ray, then by using those directions we can able to conclude that here in this first rule, the incident rays are traveling parallel to the principal axis. How they are traveling? They are parallel to the principal axis, which are incident rays. So here I had shown only one ray for sample. You can show 2 rays, 3 rays, no problem. You can say as much you can want, that much rays can be shown. But here I am showing only one ray. Now after refraction, we are going to get the refracted ray. And if you observe very carefully the position of that refracted ray, from where it is passing through the focus point F2. You can see it very clearly. It is passing through the focus point F2 because convex lens is a converging lens. So after refraction, all the rays are converging at that focal point F2. They are converging at that focal point F2. So that's why whenever light is going to incident parallelly to the principal axis, then refracted rays are going to pass through the focus. So therefore we are going to get the first rule. When incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the refracted ray passes through the principal focus. It will passes through the principal focus F2 or F1. You can, if we are taking concave lens, it may pass through the F1, appears to be coming from F1. Okay, so this is the first rule. Then second rule is, again I am going to consider the lens, again principal axis, which is passing through both the centers of curvature. Then how many principal focuses I have to consider? F1, F2. These are two principal focuses. Now the incident ray is traveling in a different way. Okay, now the incident ray is traveling in such a way that it is passing through the first focal point F1. Now how refracted ray is going to behave? Now refracted rays are going to be parallel to the principal axis. That means initially light is traveling from principal focus F1, and after refraction I am getting parallel beam of rays. Okay, so exactly reverse to that of first rule. So what will be the second rule then? When the incident rays passes through the principal focus, the refracted ray is parallel to the principal axis. It is parallel to the principal axis. So when it is passing through the principal focus, then refracted ray should be parallel to the principal axis. This is the second rule. And last rule is for optical center. So that's why I'm going to show the optical center, F1, F2. These are two focuses. O is optical center, and here now incident ray is passing through the optical center. And just we had considered the definition of optical center. It is the point inside the lens where incident rays goes undeviated. That means they do not change the direction. So you can see in the rule 3 what is going to happen. Because incident ray is traveling through the point O is inside the lens, that means it is an optical center. So obviously the refracted ray is going to be undeviated. It will goes straight as it is. It does not change the direction. It does not change the direction. So this is the third rule. When ray passes through the optical center of the lens, it passes without changing its direction. That means it will travel undeviated, which is the third rule for drawing the ray diagrams when images are formed, or we are showing the diagrams, ray diagrams for the images obtained by convex or concave lens according to different conditions. Now, which type of images are going to be obtained by the convex lens for the different positions of object? So those different cases I am going to show you, or we are going to discuss those different cases, and later on again I will show the ray diagram, how to draw the ray diagram for that particular condition. Okay, now here we are considering in the tabular form. Obviously first column is serial number, then in the second column position of the object, which is not going to be fixed because we are going to change the position of the object in a random manner. Then if we are changing the position of object, so according to that we have to observe what is the position of image, exactly where it is forming. Then what is the size of the image, is it bigger or is it smaller, like that. And then what is the nature of the image, it is virtual or it is erect or it is real or it is magnified or it is diminished, like this. So there are different natures are there, like we had considered in the reflection for mirrors, convex and concave. So in mirrors, for convex mirror only two cases are there, and for concave mirrors there are different cases, 5-6 cases are there. Similar thing is happening here For convex lens, 6 total cases are there, and we are considering the 6 cases because convex lens is a converging lens, and in reflection concave mirror is a converging, so that's why we are considering different conditions for that. So just remember, in general you can say that for converging we are getting maximum probabilities to obtain the images, size of the image or nature of the image. So first position I will say at infinity, so object is present at infinity, or in other words I am going to say that object is a distant object. So when you are going to say that object is distant object, whenever that object is going to be present at a distance 10 times focal length of the given spherical surface, then that object is going to be referred as a distant object. So for example, if object is placed in front of lens or in front of mirror whose focal length is 10 centimeter, so 10 times f, that means 10 into 10, 100 centimeter. So object, if I am keeping the object beyond the 100 centimeter, then that object will be distant object, or you can say that directly it is kept at infinity. Okay, then the image is formed exactly at the focus f2. The image is exactly at the focus f2. Then size of the image, if we compare size of the image, so we are getting the point image, one single point we are getting. If object is too large and we are getting very small image, that means point image as compared to the object. So the size of the image is point image, and nature is obviously real. Image is going to be obtained real, and it is inverted. Inverted means उलटी, ती जी इमेज आहे ती उलटी असणार आहे. सो इट इज अ इन्व्हर्टेड इमेज. ओके, इट विल बी डाउन साइड. ओके, वो नीचे की तरफ रहने वाली है. सो दिस इज द first condition when object is kept at infinity, or you can say that at a distant object, for a distant object. Now we will shift that object little bit towards the lens, and now it is between infinity and twice f1. Beyond twice f1 means in front of twice f1, and within the infinity, that means it is between infinity and twice f1. So f1 is the focal length actually, or focus point, which is present on the left hand side, and we have to take twice of that distance. Suppose if we consider the same condition which we had considered in case of distant object, 10 centimeter is the focal length. So beyond twice f1 means 20 centimeter to 100 centimeter, that distance I have to consider. Okay, so here always we are going to take the focal length as a 10 centimeter. So I am going to compare the distances with the help of 10 centimeter only. Okay, so you can understand it very carefully. Okay, now the image is formed between f2 and twice f2. Where is the image now? Image is between twice f2 and f2. Suppose f is 10 centimeter, so twice f2 is going to be 20 centimeter. So image is going to form anywhere between 10 centimeter to 20 centimeter. So it may at 12 centimeter, it may at 15 centimeter, like this. I am considering only one example here. F is equals to 10 centimeter. So just it is for refer only. Yeah? So it is not a fixed value. For lenses, focal length is going to be different. Okay. Then size of the image is smaller. So not point of image. Image is smaller. Okay, smaller than the object, and again nature is real and inverted. So same as that of first case, nature, in case of nature only. Positions are different, sizes are different. Okay. The next object is, now I am keeping it at exactly at twice f1. That means it is at exactly 20 centimeter. If we are taking focal length as a 10 centimeter, then it is at 20 centimeter. Then image is also at twice f2. Image is also at 20 centimeter. So here if we compare size of the image, now you can see twice f1 is 20 centimeter, twice f2 is 20 centimeter. That means image distance and object distance both are same. that means the image size is going to be same as that of object. So what is the size of the image? Same. And again nature is going to be real and inverted. Real and inverted. Now next one is within twice f1 now. Okay, between f1 and twice f1, between f1 and twice f1, that means 10 to 20 centimeter, like we are considering here in the second case, between f2 and twice f2. So reverse cases are there. Instead of f2 we are taking f1, between f1 and twice f1. Then image is going to be beyond twice f2. It will be beyond twice f2. You can see here positions are interchanged. See, in the second and fourth cases the positions are interchanged. Left side condition is shifted to right side and right side condition is shifted to the left side. Okay, and again image is larger now. Instead of smaller image is larger. Image is larger, and again it is going to be real and inverted. Okay, so this is the fourth condition. Now next condition is object will be within twice f1, or you can say that at focus f1, exactly at focus f1. Then image will form at infinity. It will form at infinity. Then image is very larger, and again nature of image is real and inverted. It is going to be real and inverted. Again here conditions are crossed. See, when object is at infinity, we are at image is at focus, and when object is at focus, then image is at infinity. So exactly reverse conditions are there. And last one is between f1 and optical center, that means less than 10 centimeter, less than focal length. So in that case what will be the position now? The position is also going to be on the same side now, on the same side of the lens as the object. So object is present to the left side, so image is also present to the left side, and here the nature is very large. Again it is very large, and it is virtual and erect. So only for this last condition the image is virtual and erect. So these are the images formed by the convex lenses for different positions of object. And now we will see the ray diagram. So first is when object is at infinity, you can see all the rays are gathered at f2, so image is obtained at f2. Then you can see I had shown the parallel rays, and if all the rays are parallel to the principal axis, we had seen the rule 1, that refracted ray will pass through the f2, so that rule we had applied here. Then second one, it is between infinity and twice f1, between infinity and twice f1, so image is between f2 and twice f2. Okay, and again here you can see both the conditions are satisfied. If incident ray is parallel, it will pass through the f2, and if incident ray is passing through the point O, then it will goes undeviated. So, and they are gathering at point A dash, so A dash B dash is the image. Again third case is when object is at twice f1, then image is formed at twice f2, and again same conditions are satisfied. Incident rays are parallel, passing through the f2, and incident rays are passing through the optical center undeviated. So again all those conditions are, rules are satisfied while drawing the ray diagram. Then last one is, fourth one is between twice f1 and f1. Now image is larger. You can see that now image is larger. Okay, image is larger, and it is beyond twice f2. It is beyond twice f2. Then fifth one, when image is obtained at infinity, at that time we are keeping the object at exactly at focal length f1. So here again same condition, parallel rays and rays passing through the optical center undeviated, parallel rays passing through the principal focus after the refraction, and image is forming at infinity, because these refracted rays are traveling parallelly. So image is obtained at infinity, which is real and inverted. Inverted means you can see that in all the cases image is shown downside and object is shown upside. Okay. And last condition is when object is between F1 and O, then image is on the same side. You can see A dash B dash is on the same side, and erect means on the same side perpendicularly to the principal axis, and it is virtual. Image is not going to be real, it is a virtual image. So in this way you can draw the ray diagram for all these 6 cases. You can draw the images using this, or ray diagrams using these images, which are very clear images to draw the different conditions. So this is it for today. So we had considered all about the convex lenses, how images are forming in the tabular form also, and I had shown you the ray diagrams, how to draw those ray diagrams with using those 3 rules. So here, thanks for watching the video. Again, I am asking you, if you are new to our page, then you can like, subscribe and share our page, and also press the bell icon so you will get updates in the future. So if you want to get the notifications in the future, please press the bell icon so you are not going to miss the next videos of this series. So in the next lecture we are going to consider the images formed by concave lenses. So stay tuned with us. Again, thanks for watching the video. Have a nice day.